It is likely that in the next few years we will see a natural or man-made disaster in America. I've made this video to show what to do in the case of that kind of emergency. I sincerely hope you follow at least some of these steps because they're very helpful and they might be even a little fun.
Hello everybody, I'm here to talk about how to survive the zombie apocalypse. Step 1 is to know your enemy. As we all know, zombie bites are what spreads the zombie infection, so you want to be careful not to be bitten at any time. Now if you are bitten, some options are to sacrifice yourself or have someone else kill you, or simply to run away if you're not ready for that. Important things to know about zombies is that they're most sensitive to sound, which means you need to stay quiet because zombies will go and investigate any strange noise that they hear. Second, zombies are most sensitive to scent. They'll be able to detect whether you're a zombie or not, and so they kind of can tell if you're a friend or foe. Finally, zombie sight is pretty bad, so they might not be able to see you in certain situations, which can be helpful towards surviving. Step 3 of knowing your enemy is knowing how to stop your enemy. So if you want to kill a zombie, hit it in the upper neck or head. This will completely destroy its life, completely destroy any chance it has of surviving. Of course, if you can't do that for whatever reason, you can always try to knock them over, because if you knock them over, they'll have trouble getting up due to their lack of coordination. Remember, running is easier and safer than always fighting. So if it's one-on-one, one zombie and you might just want to take it out. However, if it's a bunch of zombies and you, just run. That's safer and you won't risk anything. The second step to zombie survival is getting a kit. Now, survival kits can include all sorts of things. And I'm not going to read this whole list, but it's pretty obvious, the normal survival stuff. Flashlight, rope, even money. Money's important so that you can barter with people as well as buy gas if that's still available. Of course, knives, axes, machetes, all of these are very essential and are easy to carry in a survival kit. As for first aid needs, you're going to want to have gauze pads, band-aids, antibiotic cream for cuts, and aspirin because everybody needs some aspirin sometimes. Some optional items would be a suture kit, which is essentially a homemade way to give yourself stitches, and moleskin, which is something you can put over blisters or around blisters to help them heal. Food items you want to include are any non-perishable items, so canned foods as well as well-packaged snacks like granola bars. An easy thing to bring is honey. Honey provides a lot of energy and it's very hard to mold over. It doesn't perish, so it's a safe, easy thing to carry. And then finally, if it's available, you might want to grab some hard candy for the kids or just to enjoy yourself. Step 3 of surviving the zombie apocalypse is to make a plan. The first step of making a plan is making a team. You want to make your team out of people you can trust and people who can trust you. That way you always know that there's a feeling of reliance. Try to join up with people from your area so that you don't have to coordinate over long distances. That'll make things a lot more difficult if you have to. The second step is to make an action plan itself. Now, this means that you want to develop specific actions that you will take for the apocalypse. So where you're going to meet, what time you're going to meet, stuff like that. And with this step, you want to use a map to plan routes and meeting areas if you were to get separated. This is a very important step because it really defines what you're going to do. And then finally, you can designate duties for each of the members of your team so that one member might know CPR, the other one knows how to cook on an open fire, and so you have a variety of skills coming together to form a pretty solid team. The last step of making a plan is to pick a new home. With your group, you want to plan an area where you intend to hunker down for a while. Now this area should be near water and food, or have water and food itself. Of course, you want to stay isolated, far away from large society, but not so far away that you can't be reached. And despite popular belief, you're going to want to have multiple exits. This way, if you get overrun, you can leave out the back way instead of getting cornered. And finally, you want room for growth so that if someone else joins your team, if one of you has a baby, anything can happen that you need more space. And finally, noticeability. You want to be able to be seen by military or government forces in the case that they do come and try to provide aid. Alright, thank you everyone. You're now ready to survive the zombie apocalypse. Remember that disaster can strike at any time, and like the CDC says, if you're ready for a zombie apocalypse, then you're ready for any emergency. So really, this was more a guide to surviving any sort of disaster, whether it be a terrorist attack or an earthquake. For more information, you can check out zombiehunters.org, which is a charity that supports blood drives as well as disaster relief, or you could even check out sites like American Red Cross because they provide disaster relief too. Thank you. Sadly, it's very likely that a disaster could strike any time now, so I strongly encourage you to check out some of these sites so you can be prepared, and I hope that you will. Thanks again.